Last December, the Costa Rican Congress passed a new tax law here in Costa Rica. This new tax law is going to be affecting different products and services. And obviously, the government didn't forget about the real estate world. So in the real estate business, we're going to be affected as well. And this new tax is known as IVA, which is basically the 13% that is going to be also applied on rentals from starting on July 1st of this year. So if you own property in Costa Rica, if you are a tenant in Costa Rica, so this video is for you. It's exactly for you because you're gonna know what is gonna be happening with this new tax, and we're gonna go over this information that is gonna be affecting the entire country in different services, products, and different things that were not affected before with any taxes here in Costa Rica. Stay with us. Okay, so starting on July 1st of this year, that 13%, which is known as IVA, is going to be applied on all products, many products and many services, such as softwares, licenses, and also things like Netflix is going to be watching movies, is going to be more expensive, 13% more. Also, what about Airbnb? It's going to be 13% more for those rentals, or it's going to be a deduction for the homeowners. Obviously, in the long-term rentals is also being affected on this with this tax, because all rentals over 650,000 colones, which is around $1,000, is going to be affected with the 13%. If it's lower than $650,000, let's say $1,000, then you don't have to charge that. It's not going to be affected. But any amount over that is going to be affected, even for one colon. Let's say 650,000 colones. So just for one colon, 650. 1,000 colones, then you have to pay the 13% tax. So make sure when you're signing a lease that you think about these things, and you don't pay something that maybe you shouldn't be paying. So also, who's gonna collect that money? I mean, the owner of the property is gonna be the person responsible to collect this money and also pay it to the government. So how this is gonna affect us in our economy and in the real estate business? Well, I believe I like to see things in a positive way. So I know, well, this is gonna bring a lot of money to the government in Costa Rica. So let's pray and let's hope they use this money wisely. They spend it on the roads, they spend it on so many things, on schools and so many other things that we need in Costa Rica. We need things to be improved. So hopefully they do that with this increase, and probably they were going to be, I read an article saying that they're going to be able to pay debt. Costa Rica has a big debt right now because they always cover things with a lot of loans and things like that. So they hope, and I hope they do it too. So in the real estate world, this is going to affect us. If somebody is going to be, in our case, we rent properties in a high level, big properties, luxurious homes. So in that case, if somebody is renting a property for $5,000, imagine if the budget is $5,000, then he's going to have to increase it to more than $5,500. And if the budget is just $5,000 and it's a property that is not being rented for a long time, then probably the owner is going to have to include that in the $5,000. So he's going to have a deduction of from the income. So this is going to affect one way or the other. So be careful with that when you're signing now. Starting right now, start asking people, obviously, what is going to happen after July 1st if you're signing a lease right now, and who's going to cover that tax after July 1st. That's very important because all these things are going to be very, very regulated by the government, and nobody wants to pay penalties or fines or things like that. All right, so be careful with that before signing any lease. So I was thinking as well that with the prices trying to be much more competitive, for the last 3, 4, 5 years. Now an increase, well, just God knows what's going to happen. But what I can say is that people, in order for the owners, for homeowners, in order to be competitive in this market, I believe that most of them are going to have to include that in the rental price. So if somebody is renting a property for $5,000, for example, they will have to say, okay, well, from now on, I'm going to just get less money, and instead of increasing it. But let's see what the market says. I don't know. Maybe if everybody starts just increasing, then the prices are going to just increase. And if you want, then this amount is going to be is going to have to be paid by the tenant at the end of the day. But let's see what happened. Let's see what happened. As I said before, in our last negotiation, we ended up having 50-50. So let's see what happened with that. Hopefully, all this is going to be for a positive thing in Costa Rica, and we're going to have a much better country to live in. So as an example, the last rental we closed, it was in the range of $10,000, around that. So in that case, homeowner and tenant started discussing about that new law and who's going to pay it, because imagine, let's say $10,000 lease, it's going to be $1,300 more for the rent, including that 13%. So they ended up agreeing. We helped on agreeing in this transaction for them to cover that IVA, the new tax, 50-50. So they, starting right now, they said, okay, after July 1st, and for the next years that we're going to be renting this property, we're going to be covering then the tax 50-50. That is going to be reduction still for the homeowner, and it's going to be an increase for the tenant of 6.5% on the rental, reduction and increasing. So that's important. I think it's going to be negotiable, but at the end of the day, we all will have to pay the tax. So this is important that you understand that, and I think right now people is going to be more open to negotiate. The market right now, it's well, in Costa Rica, the market is always being slow in real estate. Or actually, in the market we are in the luxury market we are, and we've been for more than 12 years. So this is going to affect us, but at the end of the day, it's going to be negotiable. It's going to be negotiable between the parties. So I think at the end of the day, we're going to be moving forward. I see it that way. There is a lot of people being scared about it. I talked to a client the other day wanting to sell all properties. They have a lot of properties. And another client also said, no, reduce the price of my property. I want to sell it right now, but they want to sell in 1 month. So I mean, Costa Rica, the type of properties we sell, I mean, normally they don't sell within 1 month. They take time. So I would say don't be afraid about that. Obviously, it's gonna cost us money to all of us. But what else can we do? I mean, the country is gonna still here, is gonna continue. So, and if we are living here, just let's live with it and try to find the best solution for everybody. That's what I think, and that's my opinion on this issue. All right, and now, and finally, well, it's almost the end of the video, but don't be confused with this IVA new tax, with the sales tax that a seller has to pay when selling a property. 13% sales tax, it's applied, and is being approved, and is being collected for many years already in Costa Rica. So it doesn't matter now about that. Don't get confused, because this is what is the new thing that is going to be start applying on July 1st. It's not the sales tax. It's very similar, but it's not the same, because before it was just applied to sales. In this case, sales like, for example, real estate. or when you go to the restaurant and things like that, there are some things that we're applying this by law, but many other things were not subject to this new tax. So what is that sales tax in real estate? In real estate, let's base it in a 5% commission. 5% commission, you're selling a property, you're paying to your real estate agent broker 5% of commission. So the 13% is going to take that to 5.65%. So many people, I know many people didn't pay it. We in our office, we always try to collect it or cover it. We always try to collect it, and we try to educate our clients that this needs to be paid. And depending on the negotiation, but it always has to be paid. And most of the time we have suffered because we have had to pay it from our pocket. But the reality is that this needs to be paid by the seller in the case of the sales tax. Right? So it's a different tax. But it's very important that you know that this 13% sales tax is always being active in Costa Rica for many years already. So that's the difference, and still this is going to be looked at more closely. So be careful about that and make sure you pay it when you're selling your property in Costa Rica. All right, people, so this is the end of the video. I hope it was useful for you, and I hope you enjoyed it. If you know about anybody that would be interested in this information, please share it, help us grow. And if you really enjoyed this video, please hit the like button. And if you're new in this channel, consider subscribing and hit the subscribe button, and be aware of all the information we're gonna be posting. We post content every Monday, Wednesday, and Saturday. All about Costa Rica, new listings, exclusive and luxury listings, tips and information about the real estate market in Costa Rica, locations in Costa Rica, and everything related to properties in Costa Rica. My name is John Ordonez with the Luxury Homes Costa Rica, and I hope I can see you soon. Thank you and have a wonderful week.